I've been a lost boy the last like 2 weeks, and we're just here. We're just here.
We're just here. We're just gonna do this now.
Sorry, I see the live. Sorry.
We're doing yeah, we're live now.
And we're live.
Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We're getting ready to jump into season 4, episode 8 of our DayTrippers / currently Night Trippers campaign. I'm gonna kick it over to Todd. He'll tell us what happened last time, and probably something really fucked up's gonna happen. So, thumbs up.
I don't even want to get into what happened last time because it was the end of a big long chapter where you finally got rid of your kids. It's so just energizing and exhilarating to be free of those little munchkins running around, taking your pens, stealing the scissors, breaking all your shit,
Eating
and
all the
using their
lizards.
psychic powers to jump off the roof of the RV.
This
'cause
is
that's the
hitting a
kind of
little
shit
too
that-
close to home, I think.
That's the shit that Whisper was doing. Whisper's powers were developing along the way at a tremendous rate, and Reggie had a hard time leaving her behind. But Beneficent did recognize those powers and promised to take good care of the child. She too believes in all sorts of magical, mystical, weird shit, and has nanobots inside her. And so she, you know what? Of all the people you've met, she's probably the best person to leave the kid in charge of. And so it's not easy. But Reggie says goodbye. He says he'll return. And in his head, he hears Whisper's voice saying, "I know you will. I trust you." That's when you leave the camp and you start trudging out toward the city. You make it about 15 kilometers when you feel that weird nauseous sensation. There's a flux storm coming on. One thing that happened in the last episode was that Reggie and Nash both agreed that the feeling of the reality fractures, that nauseous, queasy feeling, is exactly like you felt when you were tumbling into the cow. It's Jack called it a flux storm, sort of reflexively, and you both believe that's kind of what it is. Somehow it's tied to the cow or tied to the multiversal flux that you guys felt back in the day when you were day tripping and things were going wrong. But when this portal opens up, you're looking kind of like at a mirror in time at yourselves, hitting the ground, crouching for cover, and aiming weapons in this direction as you hear the other Jack Nash shout, "That's live ordnance," pointing at the canister that sits dead center between the two realities. Go!
So Nash just yells, "Get down!" and pushes Ulla to one side and, just dives for the ground because we're obviously shooting in our direction. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Everybody, grace rolls. Everybody beat a 4. This is the closest we ever got to initiative.
Can I just
in this
aid
game.
Nash in his grace roll?
Well, you're coming with me because you're on my back.
Yeah, I want to aid you though. Can I aid you?
Could I
Maybe
add
a
my
little shit goes off or something.
You know what?
You swish
I'm trying
the,
to think
you
of ways
swish
to
the
do it.
liquid in one way.
Yes. Yeah, I do a little swish and I get a little, a little slosh go. Yeah.
We have to get your legs out so you can spur him like a horse.
Oh God.
Can I add my athletics to this roll?
You can.
Okay, my total is a 6.
Yeah, nice. Everybody else? Except for Reggie, sorry.
5.
Yeah.
6.
Okay. So y'all beat a 4. I'm the only reason I resorted to something that looks like an initiative roll is because that's you on the other side. I mean, you're exactly as fast as yourselves. So it's kind of fortunate that you all were faster than them. And that allows me to say, oh, well, actually, your side of the time tunnel seems to be a little bit ahead of their side. That's why you hear him shout, "That's live ordnance," a moment after you see it.
Is it on our side too, though?
It's dead center. It's the only thing there aren't 2 copies of.
Oh, weird.
It's right in the middle of the mirror. Okay, now Reggie, you're the only one here who can't really do it. Oh yeah, you can. You're psychic, so maybe think on that level. But I want to jump to the people who
Yeah.
are gonna do something physical. Are we just hitting the ground, or are we doing something?
Yeah, I mean, so Nash would, push Ulla and then jump, to the right and sort of roll away, right, to not be in the direct line of fire, and then kind of come up on one knee to see like, did they come through? Did they shoot? Like, essentially like a held action. I want to see what's happening. I need to assess the situation.
All right. What you've been following is sort of a wide, rutted, semi path through a fairly open, blasted field. And because it seemed like the easiest, straightest way through. So there apparently vehicles come through here once in a while, and there's kind of a flattened area, kind of a dirt road. And so that's where you are, and you're looking down the center of this dirt road at the other side of the portal. So on both sides of the road, there are ditches. You could jump down that way.
Yeah,
but there
that makes
isn't
sense.
really much on the road. There's some rocks and rubble, but there's no major features nearby to like hide behind or anything except for these ditches.
Yeah, I think he would go for the ditch. I mean, he's not really trying to like be hidden so much as not be like directly in the line of fire. So, roll out to the right into the ditch, come up to look to see. Does the portal extend away? Is it like a liminal space, like just a single phase of like portal or mirror? So like if you went around the side of it, it would just be like a slice, or is it more like a tube? Or could we even see that?
Well, none of you ever tried going around the other side of one. You've seen 2 or 3 of them now, but there's always something coming through it or something going on.
Mhm.
So you get the impression they have no thickness.
Okay.
They're just like a hole in reality. And they only last for like, 5-10 seconds, or at least the ones that you've seen.
Right.
So Nash scrambles. I'm gonna roll randomly. Nash breaks left. I'm gonna want another roll from you. Actually, I'm gonna call this difficult because you're trying to duck out of the line of fire. So you're moving as fast as you can, and even though you have a few milliseconds on your opponent, you do have Reggie on your back, and so you can't. What your instinct would be to duck and roll,
Right.
just hit the ground and roll out, but you can't. You have to scramble.
Mhm.
All right. So this is beat a 4.
6 on the die with athletics is going to be a 7.
Yeah, you do get athletics on that. This is actually a yes and. Doesn't have to be directly related, remember.
It looks super cool.
It looks super cool as you scramble with a baby on your back.
I do with a certain amount of dignity.
Yeah, I mean, that is hard to make look cool, and somehow Nash does it.
It's true. Nobody else could pull that off. Trae, what are you doing?
Trae is like just focused on the cylinder. And he is like in a ready stance, kind of like he's playing Steal the Bacon, and he's just waiting to make his move.
Ooh, and Ulla.
I don't think she knows how to act at this point. Like, I don't think she has a plan other than a reactionary sort of like waiting to see what happens.
So you staying in the road?
I mean, she got shoved off like to the side, right?
I don't know if shoved. I know he shouted.
No, I literally said I shoved her.
Yeah?
No, he said he pushed me off to the side.
Right, like if this is the portal and we're right in front of it, I went this way and I pushed her that way.
Yeah, I had randomly rolled that Jack broke left, so that means he shoved you to the right, and the two of you went in opposite directions. So Ulla went right, Nash went left. Trae's standing there in the middle like he's ready to steal that bacon. And then you hear the Nash on the other side say, hold up, hold your fire. Fuck. And that's when the portal disappears.
Oh.
Jack just kind of nods. Yep, that checks out.
Damn it! I was gonna try and it's too late now.
Well, I mean, at least we didn't get shot. That's the
At
That's
the
the important
moment, at the moment he says "fuck," his eyes are just starting to widen. The tunnel shut. I mean, the fracture closed in the middle of the millisecond in which the other Jack Nash was realizing that's us.
I don't know. I don't know how this works. I mean, those demons or whatever the fuck come out. Maybe it's someone who decided to jump through the portal, and that's how they come out. They come out all fucked up.
You see, first Trae looked kind of dejected, but then Nash says that, and he like starts thinking a little bit, and he's like, "All right, now he starts to not look so upset."
Reggie,
Almost relieved.
how is your psyche feeling right now? Give me a psyche roll.
I don't know. Not good.
4.
You're not Reggie.
Oh,
Well,
I didn't hear Reggie.
Was it
It's
me?
Reggie. Yeah, just Reggie.
Oh, okay.
Reggie? Okay.
I will roll. I'm just gonna roll straight psyche. Oh wait,
I want to know how you're taking this.
5 is my highest.
If something bothers you about this, that was not like the other reality fractures you've seen, right? It was kind of an echo, and it bothers you because it made you feel like, remember when your reality was falling apart and you were in two places at once, and part of it was Frank, and part of it was you. Kind of felt like that, and you still feel like that a little bit. It's like that one was weird. That one was not. That one didn't feel like a flux storm. It felt like Frank.
Hey, I don't think that was a regular flux storm.
Well, I mean, I mean, we saw them, they saw us, right? Like, I mean, that's the first time since we've been here, that's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, that felt kind of like what was going on with the Frank back in the day.
Nash, they did not show any signs that they noticed us, though. They did comment, or at least you commented on the canister. However, there were no comments about us on the opposite side. As far as we know, we saw them, but they did not see us.
Because when that happened before, we didn't see anything through the other side.
Yeah, no. Jack got the impression. I'm sorry that I don't have a camera, because Jack got the impression that the other Jack first saw the canister, and everybody was ducking for cover. And you heard him shout, "That's live ordnance." And then he glanced up, and at that moment he saw himself, and that's when he said, "Hold your fire." And he realized that's indeed what I'm seeing is I'm looking at myself, and he said, "Fuck," and then the thing shut.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you him.
Then I didn't say
him
that.
You.
Yeah, I mean, but I didn't feel anything though. I mean, you felt it felt different.
Well, it felt like when we were getting sort of thrown into the cow, all that in the before times, and you felt it, and then when it opened up, no, it was totally different. It was like being with Frank again,
and not in a good
Frank?
way.
Frank is like a weird god.
What?
Yeah,
it's Frank.
Yeah, he's like me, but with more experience and more competence.
No, man, you really don't sell yourself short.
Well, I feel like I can sell myself pretty short.
I mean, there were 11 of him, right? I mean, like
he did have like a numbers thing on me. That's true.
So you're a demigod? Is that?
Ooh,
am I doing this right?
Shit, no, I don't think so. I hope not, because that's not good. But no, he had like another level of control that I hadn't experienced to that point. I wanted to try and absorb some of what he was doing, some of that good Frank juice, but it it never really happened. But no, but he had I had a similar feeling in that moment when we were staring at ourselves right now that I did back then.
But does
See,
that
Frank had the ability, and in a very different way than Reggie, but he had the ability to just sort of make shit happen. Like he could lucid dream. He had lucid dreamed an entire reality together. There were 11 of him, echoes of him, which together formed a massively powerful dream mind. And Reggie, at least at that time, had never encountered anything quite that powerful. But Frank was also a psychological mess and has some serious issues.
Right, yes. A
now-
difference between him and I. A difference.
Now,
It's
there was a
totally-
period
Immense
of
difference.
there was a period of time back in the last world, which to Reggie feels like an old dream, that at times Reggie's sense of reality would overlap with Frank's. He didn't know it at the time. We met him later, but the sensation of being trapped in a tank, laying on your back underneath a vat of blue gel of some kind, that was actually Frank, and it was Reggie and Frank was in a way communicating with Reggie. They thought there was some sort of psychic war going on, and then they realized they actually weren't enemies. It was a big thing. But the point that Reggie's trying to make here is that when his reality and Frank's blended like that, there was a unique and unpleasant sensation. It's because it's not really your reality. It's kind of like you and someone else commingling, and not in a good way. And that's what this just felt like. This did not feel like the previous fractures. And Reggie's the only one that knows what that feeling is.
Can I maybe take a second and see if I can't reach out to the other Reggie?
To the other Reggie, yeah. I mean, it's closed. It's gone.
Yeah. But I mean, Frank had a connection with all the other Franks, didn't he? Or am I misunderstanding? Is that not what that was?
Your guess is as good as mine. But I'm just letting you know the doorway is closed. So if you're trying to send a connection, you're trying to send a connection through a portal that isn't open.
Yeah, I'm trying to just send it to like myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like just send it to myself.
Beat a 10.
Okay. Oh wait, I keep launching that one off the thing. There's a 6 in there, so I hit it 10 exactly. So no butt, right? Is that correct?
Yes,
it's a
yes,
yes
but.
but.
It's a yes, but. It's a yes, but.
It's a yes but. Yes, you successfully get a message off, but you're not sure that's right. You're not sure you really did.
Yeah. So I sent it. So I feel like I sent a message. I feel like I sent a message to someone. But I can't be sure that the recipient was me, myself, or I.
are you telling us this?
But
Yeah, in my non-accent. Yeah, just like straight
okay.
lace. I believe what happened was I did send a message. Yeah.
I guess that's good. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Something went somewhere. I just tried to do like a thing that I tried to do a Frank type of thing, but something went somewhere. But I just and little Reggie's little baby hands are like so. But I just don't know who got it.
Oh my lord. All right.
I feel like I just need like 10 more XP so that I can bump up my lucid dreaming to 5, and then I can actually take on a 10 difficulty.
It's a weird thing to say, man. I don't like.
I wouldn't. Don't worry. I would just forget I even said it.
All right. Well,
okay.
All right.
Baby Reggie. But
Yes. Give me the butt.
yeah, you can't stop thinking about that Frank thing. I mean, if Frank is, if there's a Frank here, does Is he the friendly Frank, or is he the Frank that thinks you're an enemy? Are we going to go through that whole fucking war with Frank again? Or if Frank is here, then is this even real? Oh, shit. Shit. You're starting to doubt this is real.
I'm in my head. I'm
Uh-huh.
in it. I'm in there.
You're deep in your head. Yeah.
Oh God! Oh no! things are happening up inside here.
What is wrong? Ulla is just like, what?
I'm swirling around, like knocking on the ding, 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 ding,
Dude,
ding,
what,
ding, ding.
Reg, what are you doing?
I don't know. What is any of it?
We're not going to look. We didn't get shot.
No, we're fine.
So we're good. We keep on moving. We got to get to the city. We'll file that away. You know, it felt like a Frank thing. If there's no somnambula here, then I don't feel like there's a Frank here. Then probably right, because he would be there. And Ulla said that she didn't recognize the name, so I don't feel like he's probably here.
Maybe.
Or at the very least, there could be a Frank. However, he has not received the training that created the Frank that we are aware of.
Yeah, it
That's
really,
true.
no one, it wouldn't really be, it would be super weird even if Ulla had heard the name Frank Frask, because he wasn't famous or anything.
But without more data, we cannot come to any significant conclusion about what just happened or how to deal with it the next time that it does happen.
My only question is, what was in the ordnance box?
Well, I mean, if go ahead, Trae.
Well, I believe last time it was the nanobots that are currently inside of you.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
assumption was that there were more nanobots in there, or at least possibly the same ones that we had seen before, if that was indeed a temporal opening.
So, hear me out. I know this is going to sound a bit odd, although, frankly, I feel like I've earned a bit of strangeness in this group.
She said, frankly.
Frankly.
And that causes little Reggie's head to just spin, and his eyes are fluttering now. Reggie, you're getting bad feelings. Bad. This is not a good day.
He's literally spinning in the tank right now, like a dog chasing its tail.
Yeah. Frankly.
So the ordinance itself is now the nanobots who, we'll just say I coexist with. If that was the center of the reality break, what does that say about that technology?
Well, unless we have more information as to exactly why those nanobots were created, it could be that they are attached to why the temporal rifts are occurring. However, without more information, we do not know.
You do know that before Ulla got them under control, some of them went straight for Nash's stun baton, and they degaussed it, right? And some were heading straight for your head, and you were afraid they were going to gauss you too.
I mean, it seemed like they were like, if they knew where we were, if the portal opened up in front of us because they knew somehow where we were, that the nanobots were going to attack us, right? I mean, and Ulla was able to, he kind of like waves his hands around like stuffing motion, absorb those things. I mean,
we came to an agreement.
Okay, he like nods his head.
One way to say it.
But it doesn't.
One theory could be is that the nanobots are there to create, or rather to to draw in any electrical interference that the rifts may cause in order to either assist them to stay open or to close. However, considering the rift did close on its own without the assistance of the nanobots, it's hard to say.
Well, just something to think about. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Well, did you notice there wasn't like it was like a single plane, right? Like there wasn't anything else. It was just
Yeah, also, there was
there.
one of those canisters, and then it disappeared when it closed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it wasn't like a tube, right? Like when we came through, Trae grabbed me and pulled me through, and it felt like a hallway or a tunnel where there was nothing there.
Right.
He's waving his hands
Well,
all around.
That is how it, at the very least, it could appear as a 2D plane. We do not know how it would feel if we were then to transition between the two realities. For all we know, the temporal existence then could be stretched, and we could feel as though we are traveling through a tube or a tunnel.
Reggie, give me another psyche roll.
Sure, like a black hole or something, right? Like that kind of thing.
Like a singularity.
Singular Reggie, yeah.
Oh boy, 3 is my highest.
Oh no, you don't feel good about this at all. Not that feeling in your head is getting even worse because now, okay, if this is an echo of the other event, then you just prevented yourselves in the past from picking up the canister, which means you caused a whole other reality to split off. And now there's the past you never did get the canister because instead they looked up and they saw the present you. So that changes the whole timeline. And now you've got an echo of an echo running around.
So there's an echo of an echo, but then does that mean that Ulla on the other echo never actually came to an agreement with the other nanobots?
That would seem to be the case.
Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible.
You can't get rid of the feeling. Okay, not only is this real, now you're starting to doubt this reality is real, or at least you're doubting that it's any realer than the alternate one you just created, where you never got the canister and Ulla never got her nano power.
All right, so I need
this
to
is
fix
messing
that.
you up because now you're causing ripples from ripples.
Yeah, we need to fix it. Hey guys, we have to fix this problem.
But it's gone. It's already gone. Like
It's already gone, but we can't have these echoes running amok.
That reality is just as real as this one. You're quite sure.
Damn it, that's not good either, though, because this one's not real. So if this one's not real and that one's not real, but they're both real, I want to try to open up. I want to try to open up a rift again. I need to open a rift up.
10.
I have to open a rift. We have to fix this. We have to go through and fix it. My highest is a 5.
So you're 9.
So plus 4, yeah, 9.
No, but
I'm opening a rift. You have to get the bots into.
It sounds
all right. You don't feel that you've successfully opened a rift. You're just like barely wedging your fingernails in the crack of some cosmic door, and then from the other side, something shouts at you and pushes you back and knocks you out. And what it shouts is, "Back the fuck off!" And it's Frank.
Oh, come on. Oh. Come on. And I don't feel anything else. It's gone now.
But you know that voice. In fact, you've heard him say that to you.
Yeah. I think Reggie stays silent for a minute, actually. I don't think I said anything about that.
And I assume we're walking, right? Like we're moving while this is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Reggie just goes silent.
Yeah, you were so deep in your head, Reg. Now you really, really miss just that. Remember that old Dream Earth, the one where you and Nash served in the army together.
I'll flip a chopper.
You want to be there so bad.
I want to get back to the chopper.
In fact, you fall asleep crying in your little gel jar and dreaming of flying the chopper in your home Earth long, long, long ago. Everybody else, they're trudging. They don't notice this at all. Reggie's dreaming of home Earth. What's everybody else doing? We got what did I say? You've gone like 15 clicks. You had a total distance of something like 50. You're roughly halfway there as night is beginning to fall. Do we move on through the night or do we make camp?
I'll refer to Ulla whether or not she thinks there's any potential dangers during the night here. If there's any added risk of, wildlife, any fauna or people, or like how the temperature fluctuates around here.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably general rule of thumb is camp at night unless you have a really good reason to keep going.
I mean, you could set up the bots, right, Trae? I mean, one of us could say. I mean, we could alternate watches, set up the drones. I mean, we should probably rest.
The ground here was basically obliterated by massive explosions and pounded to dirt. If there was ever a road here, it's long gone. But then a path was sort of carved through it after that, over the last couple of years, by periodic vehicles. There's really there's nothing to sleep under or in or around.
We have a tent.
All of the prepositions.
We do have a tent. How many people does the Terminationer's tent hold? Is it a single?
5.
Oh, yeah, we're all right.
Perfect. We have 3.5.
It automatically expands.
I think I count as like a quarter.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
3
It
and a
sleeps 3, but it has a nanotech that allows it to expand up to 6. So you guys are good.
There we go.
That's the Shield Fiber 5 Megatent. The Shield Fiber 5 Megatent, available at Global Nation Products today.
I imagine it actually says that when you expand it.
Yeah. We already bought it. Why are you advertising yourself to me?
It
starts listing off all the accessories that you can add along with it.
It not only says that, Trae, but you realize that there's a signal coming from it. It's just set up a hub, and that hub has connected you to the city hub.
Oh, sweet, sweet information. Oh,
this is a great day for Trae. Oh,
you see a single tear roll down Trae's face as his eyes start
You finally come close enough. You've only got 2 or 3
I'm not kidding.
bars,
like his eye, like he's just, but it's like subconscious, and he's just like all over the place now.
Well, it's been like a week, at least, right? A couple of days.
The sweet,
Ulla's
sweet
like,
network.
Okay, sit here.
Yes.
Here's something to drink. Here's some food. Just don't hurt yourself. Don't move.
Put a blanket around him.
Yeah.
Shaking, shivering.
Yeah.
What date is it? What's the weather? What's the news for today? What's the news for yesterday?
Give me all of it.
What is happening? Yeah.
Just a moment. It is. It is July 1st, 2122. Union City is experiencing good fog bandwidth today. You've got loads of messages from loads of news hubs, and you can access City System under your own ID.
What?
Yeah.
What's the ID say? Like, what does it say?
It's Trae Mowaka, and all of your online haunts are there. Argos Fans is there. Your City System profile is there. Your Faceplace page is there. Your whole life is here. The details are a little bit shady, but it's basically you.
Yeah, because most of the stuff, like his like social media profiles are all they're like controlled by Crab. Like, he doesn't actually have an online presence. It's all like he exists, but not real. Like, it's just to create the persona that like Trae Mowaka is a happy-go-lucky person kind of thing who has some troubles every once in a while. But like,
exactly. So what you're looking at is your real, fake Faceplace page.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Except for the dates are like 2 years back.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna check a couple of different places. First, I'm gonna go to reggie1.talkplace.com.
Please.
That is the website that I registered in our Prime reality.
That name is available.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense, because like then he looks back at the times and he's like, okay, well, it might not check up because I created that in like our current timeline, which would be 2 years from then. So who knows? All right. So that, and then I'm also going to go to argofans.com and I'm going to check out the Blue Bombers prospects sub channel.
Okay. Well, what you find there is kind of exhilarating, because there's actually conversations here that you remember having in code with your class sibs back in the day. I mean, almost word for word, slight variations, but it really feels like reading those logs, from back in the day. Now, there's one thing that has been bothering you. You're pretty sure that your tattoo, did you look at your tattoo? It's got 7 blades in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're pretty sure that when the drone came out, that the symbol that it projected was 6.
Mm-hmm. All right. The last
and when you look in these logs here, that's the one thing. Everything feels familiar to you, except the number 6 is what's prominent in both iconography and coded words. Not 7, but 6.
So
though there are only 6 people in your clutch, not 7.
All right. So one thing I'll go through. So because we all had our key 3 numbers that we use in most of our stuff. So like that just so we know who each other are, even no matter what profile we're using.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 633, but then there's 641, 642, 643, 628, 626, and 639.
There is no 639.
No? Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. And I'm assuming the conversations have continued in the last 2 years.
Do you have a name?
So there's like a point where my conversation drops off.
639 was Hilal, and your conversation drops off just about 3 weeks ago.
That's fucking weird. It's very disconcerting. Okay.
Give me a brains roll. I don't know what skill might apply to this. Maybe none.
Well, I have a 6.
Oh, nice. I'm going to hang on to this.
Yep.
right.
So yeah, I'll be doing that for several minutes. I'll let them have a conversation and then I'll probably break into it at some point.
So I guess the three of us are just kind of sitting off to one side then while Trae is furiously gesticulating.
So happy.
Sorry, well, I mean, nothing else happened, so that's good. What's the plan? Trae's obviously connected somewhere. I'm assuming the city. Do we want to try to get him to just like hack the fucking doors and we can just scoot in that way? Seems to be the easiest thing. I mean, he's pretty good at that.
So what are we going to do about Reggie?
I mean, he turns the canister to face the both of us. He says, "Well, we need him back. We need you back, Reg."
Okay, so Reggie is awakened by the turning of the canister.
Oh,
Just as Trae dives a little bit deeper into some of those forums and finds a mark from all of his Clutch siblings that means R.I.P. and it's addressed to Trae.
oh.
It was 15 days ago.
Huh.
Trae is speechless.
There's a lot of that this episode.
He's gonna start diving into. So now his next step was going to be to actually connect to the crab. There is obviously a crab employees network. He was gonna do that. He's not now.
Okay, so brains roll again.
Oh, 4 bad rolls.
All right, so you're really not sure. There's no clear because you all are talking in code. You're conscious whenever using these forums that unauthorized eyes may fall upon them, and so you speak very ambiguously and rely on direct communication for a lot of the top secret shit. It's clear that this Trae was on some kind of mission when he died. And they believe him dead, or at least it looks that way. Unless that's some sort of complicated ruse. But what you can't tell in any of the communication that follows is what they think of picking up your signal now. They may believe that you faked your own death and are secretly coming home, or they may believe that the real Trae is dead and some asshole is posing as him.
Which, I mean, we have a giant stash of ghost pids. So that's
but it's your actual one though. I mean, it got you into the account.
Oh yeah. Well, no, but I mean, there's a whole
Yes, you're right. Of course there is.
A whole thing where people rip pids out of people and resell them. So
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So that's one of the things I was going to ask is there's a delineation between people who have actually died and people who have died, quotes, like people who have basically just like been removed from the program. And
Okay.
so like it's clear that this Trae like died, right?
Actually, your clearest indication of that is the way that your siblings spoke.
Okay.
They seemed to genuinely believe they'd lost a brother.
Gotcha. Okay.
I believe Ulla
Um,
was asking, what do you do with how do you solve a problem like a Reggie?
So Reg, how you feeling?
Oh, he's. I don't know. I heard Frank. Nash.
You heard Frank when?
Before I tried to open up a rift because we have to fix this now. We have to fix these echoes, and I did something, and then Frank yelled at me again and pushed me back again. So now that's in the mix somehow up here. And then
You think that means he's here?
I don't know. I didn't think that was possible, really.
But you're absolutely sure it means he's here.
Right, I
at
mean, he's
this time.
definitely here, as impossible as it once seemed.
But he pushed you out, so he doesn't remember
Yeah,
you because we're in a different
No.
space.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I guess that complicates things unless we ignored the fact that he's here.
I guess ignoring is one way to go about it. The other way would be to just expect that level of that
Frankness.
yes, that level of frankness as we get closer to the city, which is like a whole other thing now, because pretty much that means that none of this is real. I mean, right?
Well, I mean, it's not our timeline.
Right, but it's Ulla's.
Right, which then makes it real, though, right? I mean, there's an infinite number of worlds. I mean, the singular Reggie, right? I mean, like there are all of these places. Like our home Earth is where we're from. That's our timeline. But like, there's also all of these other Earths and timelines. Yep. I mean, every time someone makes a decision, right, the potential is there for that to split into a different reality.
Reggie,
right?
He's breaking you up right now. You're trembling. Baby Reggie's trembling. When you said home Earth, that's when it first struck him. And then when you started talking about every choice branching off, now, Reggie, you're losing it. This isn't real. Nothing's real.
There's too many things. None of it is anything. There's too many of them. There's too many echoes and branches, and there's all of these unaccounted for variables. All right, that's about as sciencey as I'm going to get with it. All right, there's unaccounted for variables, and there's echoes and branches, and it's out of control. It's out of control, and I might be out. I think I'm out. I don't know. Well, I don't know what button to push. I don't know what button to push anymore here, Nash. Like, I want to help, but I don't know what buttons to push.
I mean, honestly, man, I don't know either.
we were at a place where I was going to learn from him, you know? And then he he was gone because he had to be. So, but if he's pushing me out, it means that he's back in that headspace of, you know, kill Reggie, you know, remember that? Kill Reggie.
Yeah,
and
I
just,
remember.
Like, sends all realities after me, us, you know?
But it might not be that he's. Oh, I'm sorry, Ulla, go ahead.
Why does he want to kill you?
He had this thing where everything that I was doing, every choice that I had made, every time I had messed with his reality, he viewed that as an attack on him, or that I was getting in his way. So his whole crusade against whoever he was crusading, Somnambula was probably who he was crusading against. His whole crusade was being thwarted by my ability to sort of almost get to his level. Does that make sense? But I didn't know I was doing it. I didn't know.
Right. I mean, a fitting metaphor might be two wizards at war over which one is more powerful in controlling reality, except that Reggie wasn't even doing it on purpose, and Frank saw him as an enemy.
Yeah, except one of the wizards didn't know he was doing anything.
Right.
So it was just this battle. Yeah, I guess that's good. So imagine two wizards, right? And they're battling out to the end of time, and there's all this chaos. But then, like, one of the wizards is like a baby idiot and doesn't know that he's doing things, you know? And that was me. I don't know if that's
So Ulla's gonna kind of like get closer to where Reggie is and like kind of like crouch down a little bit more on his level. She's just gonna like tap on the glass. She's like, do you think that Frank did this to you?
Ooh.
Oh no. Yes. That's quite a thing to now throw into the equation here. Sure. Man, I guess I have to think about that now.
Right. So maybe you can actually undo it. I mean, I realize he's a higher level than you, but
He's got like more ranks in lucid dreaming.
he has more experience points. We can just say it.
We can say it. We can say it. I can accept it. He's got way more experience points than me.
But you obviously have a natural aptitude that he finds challenging. So that really means that you are as good as him. You just maybe need a little more practice.
It was such an effort, though. I had to do this thing with like a taxi, and he turned it into a bug. And then there was this whole thing. That's going to be so. And now I'm in it was so hard.
Reggie, I have an idea. Would you like to try something?
The picture I just dropped in the Discord, if one of you could maybe share that in the channel. I just crashed when I tried to screen share, so I'm not going to try that again.
Oh, it's off. Hold on, there's a picture being uploaded to my brain. Oh yes, it's me.
So you know exactly what Ulla is looking at when she bends over. This scene costs a lot. This is CGI right here. State of the art shit.
Baby Reggie.
We're really breaking the budget with this one.
Mm-hmm. So Reggie, would you like to try something?
Yes. I want to try something.
How about if I release the nanobots to help you remove this tap glass case, and you use your ability to determine what happens,
to grow older,
right?
To be who you were meant to be, man. I mean,
with all part. Yep. I was sort of under the impression with this whole thing that if I'm out of this whole container, I'm gonna die. It's like it's incubation and stuff. So let's just like if you're going to go ahead and throw up. I mean, I saw the last time you released the nanobots, there was this whole filling and exploding thing. It was sort of part of the. I would be open to it. I'll be honest about some fear that I have to not come out of it. But then again, perhaps not coming out of it is better than being in it. Is that something?
Well, I don't think any of us wants anything to happen to you that is bad. So the choice is yours. I don't want to put you in danger, but I don't know that it's possible to free you without putting you in a bit of danger.
No, that's true. We also have to think about going to this city, even though pretty much at this point I'm just convinced that none of this is here.
It really is, Reggie. I know you don't believe me, but it really is.
I wish I was smart enough to. I don't have the proper facts, proper explanations in order to just tell you how I know that it's not. But
is it just Frank?
What?
Is it just Frank?
He's very scary. He's very scary in the state that he's in right now. In the state that that I just was pretty much shown. He's just in that headspace now, where he's in attack mode and defense mode, and so I don't know. I don't know that I have what it takes. It's very scary, the idea too of you dismantling my little core here, my little pod, and what with just zero idea of what might happen.
Yeah.
Trae. So Trae's actually been done for a few minutes now. Now he's just kind of going through like general stuff, looking up things about the city, but listening the whole time. At this point, you're gonna see him swipe down. He's gonna minimize all his windows, and he's gonna turn to Nash's back. So he's gonna look at Reggie.
Just
or
a moment.
you have Reggie.
Let me
in
stop you there
front
for a
of
minute.
you.
You said you spent a few minutes looking up things about the city. Can you zoom in on a little bit? Tell me what kind of things? What do you mean?
Oh no, just current news stuff. Trying to make sure that nothing horrific has happened that has put like the munis on edge or anything like that. So nothing general. More so just getting himself reinstated with actually having all this back. So, but so then he's gonna minimize everything. He's gonna turn to Reggie and he goes, Reggie, I am dead.
No, you're not. You're here. You're right.
I apologize. Let me restate. The Trae Mowaka that exists within this reality died several days ago.
Oh, interesting.
2 to 3 weeks, yeah.
You are still here. You have nothing more to fear. The worst thing that could happen is that you will stay this way. And as far as we know, the Frank that exists here exists in his most minimal capacity because Somnambula does not exist, and therefore he has not received the adequate training to advance himself. So I believe that you should do everything you can to advance yourself before he does.
Okay.
It's beginning to dawn on Nash that if the tent is close enough to make access to the city, then If I don't know if you even still have it on you, but if you do, your PDA would work. No, you don't.
You're muted.
I was.
I'm muted. I don't have anything. We were naked before Trae bought us clothes. So Reggie and I had absolutely nothing.
Okay, so Trae literally is the only connection to the city news.
Yep. Look, man, you can do this. I believe in you. You went toe to toe with him. I mean, you navigated the cow. Well, I don't know if you actually brought us home, but you brought us somewhere, and that's not on you. That like it's the cow, right? Like shit's fucked up. But
It's crazy over there.
Nobody comes out of there. You did that. That's all you.
Was that before or after Trae blew several of the Frank's heads apart?
Oh,
That's
before.
even before Frank. We were in the cow and
Yeah, that was when Nash heroically saved Scylla. Yeah, that was quite a moment.
We did. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we did all right. We did all right, didn't we? We
did, man. I mean, we saved a lot of people. We
did all right.
Oh, so brains roll for Trae.
I have that.
Okay.
Do I? That's a 3. Wow, my rolls are just going lower and lower and lower.
Trending.
All right.
Trending.
You've looked through, probably hundreds of news articles in the last few minutes. At the rate which you scan, both you can multi-process, video data, audio data, and text at the same time. So you're intaking all this shit. When Jack and Reggie just mentioned Scylla, and it dawns on you that you didn't see Scylla's name once, which, reading through hundreds of, recent news articles,
She should be popping up in at least half.
She should be popping up in some of them at least. Yeah, there was no mention
75%.
In fact, there was no mention of Sardassian ham loaf. It's as though the brand doesn't exist.
Oh, this is a great world. We should stay here.
I'm having a thought.
Really?
Yeah, let's just hear
at
me out.
that point, it'll turn. I was like, pardon, Ulla. What is your surname?
Oh, God, what is my name?
Vangelis.
Sardassian? No!
It's Vangelis.
Vangelis, that's right.
All right, yeah. So he'll take. I know what happened to me. I'll take their 3 names and start doing CivSec searches on them.
He's doing his Trae thing. I love it.
The Vangelis.
I just want to make sure the 3 of them exist. Well, I know Ulla exists.
Yeah, the Vangelis family is. Enjoy.
Oh, shit's gonna pop up apparently.
Oh, no.
Enjoy
Okay,
your
so
reading time.
apparently Ulla's family has some skeletons in the closet, but by reviewing CivSec records that are publicly available, you see that she's actually on the Public Enemies Most Wanted list.
Wow.
She's nowhere near the top of it, but she's on it.
Yeah. Hey, just being on it is an honor, right? Just to be nominated.
Just to be nominated. Amazing.
Reginald Carlisle.
That is me.
You find an obituary 2 years ago, apparent drug overdose.
Okay. That's about right.
Well, I don't know that he says that to you, though, right?
Oh yeah, no, if he doesn't say it, yeah.
Oh no, I haven't said anything yet.
Okay.
And Jack Nash, you find a string of arrest records which run a general theme. There's drunken disorderly.
Oh God.
There's drunken public. There's assault. Yeah, he's been in jail a couple times, and it looks like he's living in Sunridge.
Oof.
Oh no.
Oof.
I didn't want to be drunk in public.
I was drunk in bar.
I wanted
There-
to be drunk in a
That's
bar.
the exact thing I thought of.
There are some sections, the nicer sections of Union City, where you're only allowed to alter your brain digitally because then it can be shut off when leaving the establishment. But using physical drugs is illegal.
Oh, no.
Sunridge was a pretty shitty part of town, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a sprawl. Yeah.
Isn't that where the Sunshine Game was?
Yeah, Jerkus.
Yeah.
Jerkus!
Yeah, there's a whole lot of really cheap, really cramped fabricated housing units.
Yep.
And a 7-Eleven every 900 feet.
In a liquor store on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Probably a combination 7-Eleven liquor store.
Yeah.
Right, yep. 7-Eleven liquor store, Taco Bell.
Across the street from another 7-Eleven liquor store, Taco Bell.
It's actually just called 7 Taco Liquor.
Listen, it's Kentucky Fried Chicken on the other side of the street. Okay.
Right, yep.
Pardon me.
But it's not really chicken.
It's on the other side. It's a Cumberland Farms
Legally adequate
KFC
quotations. Next to Robin's.
spirits. Yeah.
Yeah. Grown vat chicken.
Yeah. Their slogan is, you won't believe it's not bird.
And the other commercial is, you know what? I do believe it's not bird.
Right.
That's not a bird.
I'm not gonna tell them that. Like Trae's not the most socially inept, like the most socially
Yes, he
adept
is.
person. He
I
knows
was just
what.
gonna say, yeah, right. I mean, the thing
He
is,
is
we
fairly
just go
socially
swipe
inept.
over to our phones, like, hey guys,
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're dead.
I want you to have the most information
Dead.
possible.
Drug overdose. You're a loser. Loser. Hey, you're on the most wanted list. Good job.
Right? Yeah, I mean, so he knows what kind of spiral, at least like telling Reggie that stuff would be. Like
if
because
Trae was a normal human, I think that it would be impossible for him to prevent his lips from uttering, "We're in the darkest timeline."
right. But like that lets without that just shows like without Reggie and everything, Nash just fucking breaks apart.
Oh no.
Reggie doesn't need to know that. Like
Oh boy.
so and all but yeah, the one thing I will say is apparently we do need to tread lightly when we get into town, into the city. I believe our first thing will probably be to get a new face for Ulla. And he'll like look at you, be like, I'm not going to say it, but you know I know now.
Oh, that knowing look. Oh yes.
She like literally just like
Wah, wah.
Well, so yeah, I mean, there's probably cameras everywhere, right? I mean, that checks out. Fuck, but we knew that, right? I mean, we knew going in that.
Okay.
I mean, bounty hunter tried to grab her, right? I mean, like.
right. They would like to right. I'm worth a lot of money. But okay, so we have problem number 1 is Reggie. Problem number 2 is me, and problem number 3 is getting into the city. Right? Does that seem pretty accurate?
I do not believe that getting into the city will be all that difficult. Now that
Not difficult, just we gotta have a plan.
I had a thought on
Indeed.
that. Yeah.
But Reggie.
Yes,
You wouldn't do this to yourself.
I might.
You wouldn't do this to yourself.
You don't know him as well as we do.
I might have.
I believe there are two possibilities. Either Reggie, you have done this to yourself, and you are the one that can undo it. Or if Frank indeed has done this to you, then you can show your power over him in this reality and undo it.
I don't believe Reggie would do this to himself because he is not as helpful to Nash as he would normally be.
Owie.
I look away. I look away. I don't like that.
Reggie looks at Nash looking away, and then my little baby shoulders slump, and I just, ow. Oh, God.
I don't think you would make Nash carry you across a blasted desert.
I'd carry Reggie anywhere.
I didn't say you wouldn't do it. I said he wouldn't make you.
Look, Reg, you can do this, man. I know you can do it.
Nash. She got like right in there. It just like it was right in the. That's the thing, right? That's the crux of it, right?
Right. We're having to carry a baby in a jar across a blasted wasteland and try and get into a city. If it's your doing, you need to undo it. And if it's Frank's doing, you need to tell him to fuck off.
Okay. Okay. That is. Go ahead, please.
No, so at this point, I will ask Nash, Ulla, may I please speak to Reggie alone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So I'll kind of scoot the tank a little bit, and then I'll kneel in front of it, and I will say, Reggie. And at this point, I will hollow project Nash's, what the hell are they called when they take your picture when you're arrested?
His mugshot.
His mugshots, yeah, which are public data. Yep. So yeah, I'll pull up his mugshots and start scrolling through them, and I'll say, Reggie, this is what happens to Nash without you.
Oh, that's harsh.
What is this? What do you do? What?
You need to stop this now. He needs your help.
You motherfucker. I think Reggie probably just looks at it speechlessly for however long you scroll it and beat him down.
He scrolls for a few. There's quite a few pictures.
There's a lot of pictures.
Ulla's dagger is in there, just kind of loosening things up in there, and then this is like you just hammered it just into the okay.
Yeah, so it turns out that Nash in this reality has been arrested 20 times, and well over two-thirds of those involve alcohol.
All right, well, this is bullshit because where am I? Where am I? You're going to show me all this bad shit about Nash. What am I doing? If it's my fault, where am I?
I bring up your obituary.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And that was 2 years ago. It was shortly after the reality fractures began.
Was it? No. Shit, I've already forgotten what I was addicted to. What the hell was it called?
Comanaprazole.
Was it Comanaprazole? Was it the Neppies? It was the Neppies, wasn't it?
It was.
You mother. Like yelling at myself, like you stupid bastard.
Nash just kind of like looks over, like, what the fuck is he
Stupid
doing?
bastard. I'm like smashing,
Reggie.
I'm slamming the sides of the thing. Yeah, it's a bad baby scene.
I think
Reggie,
this was a bad idea, Ulla.
You pulled Nash out
He's gotta be
of his
shaken out of this.
hole.
He pulled me out of it,
Likewise.
though. He pulled me out of my hole.
Exactly. Likewise,
Going
he
with it.
pulled you out.
Okay, we both
However,
pulled each other out.
you are
All
not
right.
in a position to pull him out of anything right now.
Okay.
You need to be in that position.
Okay. Okay, I think I've had about enough. I feel like the points that everyone's making, you've all done very well. It's striking at the heart of everything that you've done it. So, Ulla, if the offer still stands, would you please dismantle the shit out of everything around me, and then let's just see what happens. I'll be within myself, and then I'll project some sort of anti-Frank, assuming he is the one doing this, and I feel as though I've taken the criticism, I've put it into my heart, and yeah, that was good. That was good. He points to all of you. It was good. I get it.
Before you release,
Right, go ahead.
I was just saying, before you release your nanobots, Nash comes back over and he picks up
Hide the thing, Trae. Hide the fucking thing.
He picks up
it's gone. Yeah,
the container and he hugs it and he puts his forehead on the glass and he says, "You got this, man."
Mechanical
and he puts you back on
arms
the ground.
come out of the pod.
Oh fuck!
That's right. No.
As Nash puts the canister back down and steps away, Trae will place his hand on Nash's shoulder.
Reggie gives Trae a dirty look. A love dirty look. Like friendship dirty looks. Like, you mother. And he turns back to Ulla. Ulla, I just started I put my arms out as far as I can reach them. Take me!
A single tear rolls down Nash's cheek.
All right. So she's gonna kind of try and get herself comfortable, put both hands, outside the glass, and she's just kind of crouching down there, and she sort of closes her eyes, and then when she releases them, it's like they just kind of crawl out of her skin, kind of out of her skin and out of her pores, and then it just kind of streams off of her onto the surface until it completely covers it.
Oh, fuck.
And then she's going to just be like, they're just there right now, and her eyes are just kind of closed, and she's like, all right, Reggie, I'm going to need you to do this with me because I need you to help me control what is going to happen, because
That's good.
This is you.
Right.
So I just want to help.
This is some sort of
you.
Psychic nanobot technological interface.
Essentially.
Okay. All right.
So
let me see if I can feel the energies of the nanobots.
I mean, she does have clairvoyance, which is, cyber enhanced clairvoyance.
Todd, aren't there now little 8-bit Reggies piloting all of the nanobots?
I'm seeing the nanobots come out here, and I'm pondering what mechanics need to be brought into play in order to do this here.
Ooh.
But in fact, it's going to happen in just less than a second as soon as Ulla thinks the command.
So I think if I make a roll on my side of things, I was thinking a brains roll that maybe I can use my bioengineering skill to add to it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if what you're doing involves some sort of, I want to know exactly what you're intending to do. I mean, what I heard before was to disassemble the thing, but bioengineering skill sounds different than that.
Well, we have talked about this thing as being almost like a mechanical womb.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie, did you have a skill with the nanobots that's not on the sheet that you currently have tonight? I don't remember if when you acquired the nanobots that also translated into a mechanical skill based
I think I
thing.
considered it a level 1 ability.
A
Does that
skill.
sound right?
Yeah.
I
think if anything, it might go into like maybe a +1 DNI control or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I have points that I haven't spent because I didn't really know how to spend them. So sure,
Maybe.
makes sense. She's
Well,
been trying to
maybe it's
practice.
maybe it's time for a character development scene.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's been
Right.
trying to practice like using them like
Okay,
over
so wait.
time.
Set the scene for us. We want to see while all this is going on. I want to see the scene where Ulla learned or realized or set up or did whatever is going to give you the bonus now, right?
Gosh.
It's a flashback. Where are we?
So I think it's maybe just like a series of flashbacks that you would see, like, like some of them are funny. Like she would be sitting there and she would be thinking to herself, like, what can I do with the nanobots or whatever? And she might be like, I don't know, eating something, right? And she's thinking to herself, like, oh, I wonder if I can use it to like cut it up into little pieces, and then she obliterates it by accident. Like just breaks it apart into its like component pieces entirely, and she's just like, oh,
Demolecularizes it.
yeah. She was like, oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant at all, And so like I think it's like a progression of things like that, where over time, like she's like learning
Over time,
how,
she learns to slice bread and soft cheese. Is that?
yeah, like almost like finding control and like learning how she interfaces with it and how it reads her thoughts and translates those into action, right? So like almost like coming up with like a shared language, like, okay, what does this mean
Yeah.
if I think this?
You know what actually would sound awesome is, so like thinking that maybe you have like little pieces of fruit, right? Like
Mhm.
maybe like little crab apples or whatever we're eating, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the first one that you try, like you said, it just like explodes, right? But then like little by little, maybe the second one it explodes, but like in a line, and then
Mm-hmm.
eventually after like 10 tries you get that one slice down the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then like at that point it's like one slice, two slices, six slice, and eventually you're able to just like razor thin slice an apple like a chef.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so we see you gaining a +1, which I actually think is going to take you to a +2 once we calculate the points out. On the precision control of nanobots to form useful objects such as knife edges.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm curious about is, okay, one is the act of disassembling the thing, which knife edges could do, especially if they're molecular thin, which these are, thinner than a molecule. So you could dismantle probably anything if they formed into a knife edge that thin, right? But dismantling is one thing, and bioengineering is another thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if bioengineering is involved, I need to ask you what's going on there.
Well, the reason I was thinking that was because she's not convinced that somehow the thing that Reggie is in is not also part of Reggie.
Ooh.
So if Reggie has projected this, or Frank has taken part of Reggie to project this thing, because like it's almost like I don't know, the mass has to go somewhere.
Mhm.
Right? Like he's a full person, he's a full-grown human, but at the same time right now he's a baby in a jar. So like it's almost just like a translation of mass or something. So that's kind of like what she's thinking, I think. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but translate into what? Are you going to try to form his body out of your nanobots?
I don't think what she's trying to do is like disassemble the components of this thing to a point where Reggie can control it and do what he needs to do with it. It's almost like
make the shell unrecognizable so that it's easier for him to reform the matter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see what happens.
Because maybe it's at that point when it all gets disassembled and turned into whatever it is that I blast it with a lucid dreaming ray and kind of like end whatever shadows are surrounding me. Is that anything?
All right. I don't think disassembling it is even anything that we need to roll for, because her failing to do so would not be narratively interesting. So I think we can assume that she goes ahead and tells the nanobots to take apart Reggie's jar. And at that moment, a bunch of liquid spills out on the ground, and the baby falls and rolls out into the dirt. And Reggie, you feel tremendous pain. And if you want to, you can roll to prevent yourself from crying and screaming, because that's what your instinct is telling you to do.
I want to roll to prevent. Yeah, sure. I want to do that. I want to roll to prevent that.
Psyche roll. No mod.
No mod. 5 is my highest.
It is hard. That's a yes, but you prevent yourself from kicking and screaming, but you are radiating a whole lot of angry energy, frustrated, fearful. You can't help it. It's just kind of like lucid dreaming extending from you, radiating out. You're quite certain you're dying. You're like a baby in the throes of dying. You can't breathe. You're sure this was a terrible idea. And you're sending your energy outward almost reflexively.
Yeah, blasting it out.
Everybody else is it's only a second has passed. You're starting to think, did we just make a terrible decision? And you look up at each other, and as you look down again, spreading out from Reggie, reality is starting to pixelate into little colored squares. The colored squares are getting bigger, and you look up, and it's happening to all of you, and it's happening to the whole world. And then it freezes like a giant mosaic. The whole screen has gone bitmappy, and there's a figure standing over Reggie, kneeling down, picking him up to look at him. And everyone except Ulla recognizes it as Frank. And Frank looks into the baby's eyes, and Reggie stops screaming, because suddenly you feel comfortable. And Frank says, "What the fuck are you trying to do?" And I think we're going to end right there.
Oh. Great.
Baby Reggie's out.
Well, he's still a baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll post show this then. So I thank everybody for checking it out. There's nothing for sale. There's links for tons of shit in the show notes. Support Todd if you like this game. If you want to support indie designers, links for Patreon stuff in the show notes. Also a link for Tracy's Midwest Resin Geek if you're interested in custom dice, wine toppers, pops for phones, all kinds of crazy shit like that. She makes all that stuff. Ratings, reviews on iTunes or whatever your podcatcher of choice is, super helpful. We appreciate it when you do that as well. So again, thanks for checking us out, and we'll catch you next time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, a quick one tonight.
All right, so real quick, steal the bacon. So
Please tell me what this is.
you throw something in the middle. So you have two teams of even numbered people on either side, and you put something in the middle. We used to take like like a towel or something, tie it up into a knot and throw that in the middle. At that point, you assign a number to each person on either team, and then whoever is the ref throws the bacon in the middle, right? And you call a number, and the people from the other team, whoever has that number, need to get into the center, grab the bacon, and get back to their side before they get tagged. If you get tagged, you lose, and the point goes to the other team.
Yeah, I imagined something like that. I'm sure I played something like that in summer camp.
All right.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Love it.
And and then what you can do is, like, to make it fun, you'll call like multiple numbers, so you have a bunch of people in there all at once, and
smashing heads.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. At that point too, I was playing this. Last time I really played it was in like Boy Scouts, so you have like a bunch of 15-year-olds. And we're just like thrashing each other. Oh, it was horrible, but yeah.
Oh god. Yeah. All
That
right.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
We do a variation of it in soccer practice where we have the kids lay down on their stomachs, and then we throw a ball into the field and call a number, and they have to run and score before the other person can.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Amazing.
But anyway,
yes.
Thank you for explaining that. I had never heard of it, and I thank
there you go.
No, I didn't.
and
I
now
didn't know what it was either. So you are not
There
alone.
you go. The more you know. Yeah, I really think we just have to get Reggie over this. Like, this is going to be like the jump kick for him. It's fine.
Yeah, that was brutal with all that information and all that,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal pep talk.
Yeah.
I feel like
and
he just needs to wake up.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, it just had never had even occurred to me, John, either, what Ulla said, like with the whole, like, you would have done this yourself. I said, well, yeah, sure, you would have. Well, you would have put yourself in a position to not help Nash, really?
That
was good. Yeah. I hadn't even considered Frank.
Yeah, neither me neither.
Doing that, right? Like,
yeah.
I felt like it was something that made Reggie feel safe, right? Like this enough to deal with Frank. There's no somnambula, there's no dark matter, there's no nothing. Like, I'm safe in this space that I created for myself, and everything else is bullshit.
And I'm a baby, so I have no responsibilities.
Right.
I have no real needs. Nobody depends on me.
Well, yeah, but you know what? He got emotionally broken up by saying goodbye to Whisper, and that sort of put him on his back foot. And then later he had that weird feeling with Frank, and that put him on his backer foot. And then he started doubting that all of this was real. And so basically, the day that Reggie stops believing this is real is the day everything goes to shit, including Frank is here.
No, Frank.
Frank, great.
Now, Reggie, of course, has experienced weirder shit than this before, and even Nash and Trae have been through some bizarre reality stuff before. But Ulla has not, and I think we may need to start the very next session with a shock roll for Ulla. You're literally watching reality turn into a 3D representation of itself. It's pixelating and falling apart, or voxelating. This does not seem. Maybe the baby was right. This does not seem real.
Yep. Seems reasonable.
I wonder if that's not a role for Trae and for Nash then either, right? Because this is not the expected outcome.
Yeah, but it was no more than like 7 or 8 days ago. You were tumbling through realities that fell apart like the moment you hit them.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, we saw flaming clouds fall from the sky like marshmallows.
In fact, Nash's thought might have been, of course, lull us into a false sense of security. You just let reality be stable for just long enough to make us think it's real, and then Reggie thinks it's not, and the whole fucking thing falls apart.
But he never thought it was real. I mean, he came out saying
Well,
that none of this was real.
this was his one reality. This is the one that he thought was actually real. All the other ones were just manifestations.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Like
He's
there, I mean,
always
there
been
may
a
have
baby.
been
Well,
some.
Ulla's
yeah,
always
but
been with us.
I think that the way that Ulla would say it is that, if Reggie created this world, then the entire thing is a manifestation of Reggie's desire to be with his friends, no matter what, no matter where.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Brutal.
So what did Ulla do to get on the most wanted list?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which what she didn't do, right?
If that is your real name.
She's wanted for a variety of high-tech crimes and all sorts of non-specific, but sounds like high-level security violations. Basically, the missions that she ran for them have been pinned on her. She's been framed by her own employer, and now she's considered a fugitive. And the bounty, which, for instance, you met that one bounty hunter like a week ago who came out after. There were bounty hunters going after her because that's public information too. There's a price on her head. Now, who's paying the bounty? Wolfram. Oh, by the way, Trae, who's Wolfram? The new CEO is a guy named Ingwe Cordoba.
Wolfnambula room.
I don't know if you want to tell me that.
That'll have to come up. Yeah, that'll have to come up after. Yeah. Like we have to get past the Reggie thing first.
Baby pixel meltdown.
We have to get into the city first, and then I can
Deal with
then
that.
I can let the dogs of war unleash when I pull up the profile of the CEO of some name of Wolfram.
So I mean, I'm sure that Ulla's talked about this before, but she was let's see, how do I describe this? She was a very dutiful daughter who was a straight A student and extremely type A, who was a bioengineer who worked on something that went wrong, and it was basically, it was like her fault, in that sense that like any project that you run that fails is kind of like your fault sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the failure of the project, basically, like, her family owed money and the project failed, and so it was like they could no longer pay for the debts that they had, and so she basically, it was like dishonorable for her to have failed at this. And so the company was like, well, what you can do is instead you'll enter this secret program, and in this secret program you will do other things for us, and we'll wipe this debt clean for you and handle this for your family. And so she agreed to do it, and then that's when she, like the weird shit was put into her head, and then she was sent on these various and sundry missions, which included tracking down and trying to kill these hackers. That's why she has clairvoyance that she never uses, by the way. You'll notice she's never used it. The clairvoyance was because they couldn't find they couldn't even get in the same room as these hackers. And so they had developed this clairvoyance technology basically to give her the ability to guess what their next moves would be so that she could help them find them.
You know, now that you say that, as you're describing this to the guys sitting in the tent, you can't help but wonder if your clairvoyance somehow involved manipulating time. Could it be that Wolfram has been looking into space-time and its manipulation for longer than you thought?
Totally. Seems like it was 100% what she didn't know. And so like when it became like, don't just like go and like it's not just corporate espionage, it's actually murder. That was the point where she just couldn't handle it anymore, and she was like, it's just, it's just like, no, I just can't. And so she eventually ran away, and that running away was, and as Todd said, they pinned everything on her, and
right
there you go.
So basically, there would be no record, no like news articles or anything about that of what actually happened, because they swept all that under the rug.
Yeah.
And as payment for doing that, you underwent all this.
Yeah.
Nice. Right.
Yes. Leslie, did not further develop whatever went wrong with the bioengineering project, but fill in the blank, something terrible.
Right. Yeah.
It's interesting because your story there actually does remind me of the story in the first Ubiquity book, To Summon Mountains by Deanna Knipling.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, in fact, about a bioengineer who's trying to like cure cancer or something. And so she runs this massive experiment, retroviruses, modifying DNA, and it kills several hundred babies. And the corporation sweeps it under the rug. So yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing that goes on in this world.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, she'll share that story eventually, like, on the travels, and she's like, so my family doesn't want to see me. And
Now, do they know like how much of a tie-in do they have with Wolfram? Like, do they actually know what you did, or did you just like disappear?
They signed a bunch of NDAs and would be very uncomfortable if anyone brought it up.
And Ulla hadn't heard of Ingwe Cordoba before. I mean,
Nope.
I think
I
we
don't think we
specifically
brought
had
him
asked
up.
her. I think I asked
we?
in the first or second session. Yeah, for sure.
I remember the name. I remember you saying that, and yeah, she had not heard of him.
Okay, but you've been out of the city for a little while too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could have been that he was the head of like a different division, and had just recently made his way to CEO.
He was actually in academia, and then he made his way to CEO a couple years ago. But the reason he made the jump and was voted in by shareholders is because he is kind of similar to the Ingwe that you guys know and don't love, an expert in neurophysiology and the nature of the interface between space-time and consciousness, which they call transjective. His special area of study is dreams.
No, checks out.
That all sounds terrible and terrifying.
It's not great.
It's not good. It's not good.
Maybe he's got a dream deck hanging around.
Works with Ulla's clairvoyance. I mean, you probably put yourself into a semi-sedated state in order to go into this kind of trance-like clairvoyance.
I guess the question then becomes, what's the goal when we get in the city? Like, what are we, depending on what happens with the way this resolves, how we left this. But assuming reality doesn't completely fall apart or whatever.
My goal right now is getting some more coffee. You guys can talk about your goal. I'll be back in a minute.
We have two very loose objectives. How we attain those, we're not sure. But like one is to somehow get the heat off of Ulla, right? I don't know how we do that, but we do
Fake
that.
my death. Give me a new identity.
Potentially. Who knows? And then two, we're pretty positive that Wolfram is
fucking with reality.
To blame for all the reality fractures and all that kind of stuff. So stop that.
Well, Wolfram, i.e. Ingwe Cordoba. It's not Wolf. It's it's not a dude named Wolf. It's Ingwe.
Oh yeah,
and Frank apparently.
And Frank apparently.
Okay.
So two birds, one stone. We just kill Cordoba this time.
Well, yeah, but I mean the heat was on Ulla. Like so Ulla is not only has Wolfram after her, who Wolfram has been after her since before Cordoba became CEO, right?
Yep.
Plus, like the city is after her. Like she's wanted by the munis.
Yeah.
By the municipal department. So like there's a whole new level to that.
Well,
yeah. Plus, there's the fact that Cordoba becomes the CEO around the time the reality fractures begin.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, killing him isn't necessarily going to solve it. I'm not writing that off the board. That's still up there.
Trae's ready to go.
Yeah. This may be a time where it's like, okay, Nash, go ahead.
Like that's a side thing. That's for funsies right there. Killing Cordoba is just like a nice little fun thing we're gonna do.
It's a team building exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ulla hasn't killed Cordoba yet.
Oh,
yeah.
We all have to have a turn killing Cordoba.
Yes,
remember how good it felt to toss him out the back of the van?
Oh, it was so good. I loved it.
Well, so
you can throw him out a window. You can defenestrate Cordoba.
Nice.
It'll feel good.
I'll do that.
Put
it on my wish list.
Like potentially, if we could figure out how to get the fuck out of here, we could take Ulla with us. Right.
If she wants to go, I mean, if
she
home.
wanted to go, yeah. No, if she wanted, well, would you want to stay in this situation?
Well, she already had that conversation with you guys.
Yeah,
she
said she would go, but so she would disappear from here, so the heat's off. But then if we were to find our regular timeline, and then Ulla's in it, then it's not really our timeline anymore, because then it breaks off from where she comes into it. Because she wasn't in the original timeline.
Right. Same problem as before with Trae, except for now it's even bigger. There's Ingwe Cordoba in the Discord. You might remember that guy.
I do. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
pretty terrible dude.
He just looks like a douchebag. What's the German word for punchable face?
It's the one thing I love about German, about the German language.
Something for everything.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's so agglutinative. I mean, American English does that a lot too, but we like to make them even shorter. So we'll take like one syllable from one word and another syllable from another word.
It's Backpliefenglasnicht.
Yeah, the Germans just keep shoving words together.
Yep.
Don't care how long it
deserving
gets.
of a face slap.
Yeah.
Punchable face.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ulla had said from the beginning that she wasn't really sure how feasible it was to handle her situation in without like a long-term like project, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
if the short term is just try and stop them from destroying reality, that seemed, like more quote unquote doable. Like she's assuming that there must be some research facility within Wolfram. There must be people that are working on these. There must be machinery related to it. So therefore there's
Yep.
people to kill and shit to blow up.
And there's a
So
guy named Frank.
so
Frank
if
has something to do with this.
yeah, she doesn't know Frank, but just she's
Yeah,
just
you're
like,
the only one who doesn't know that's the figure standing before you right now, holding Reggie up in the air.
yeah. So like her idea is basically like, okay, well, in order to like try and help with this, then if we can go in and find out where they're doing this work, find the facility, blow it
Mhm.
up, kill some people, then hopefully that would be enough to at least make it harder for them.
Yep.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
here's the. So this is probably a conversation that we will also have, but primering it. So that is our goal, right? We
Was that
want
a
to
movie
stop the
reference?
reality fractures. We want to. So the easiest way to do that is find the technology that they're using to do this and destroy it. Basically, we'll blow up Wolfram if we need to. We'll
Sure.
Slothrop this motherfucker and just blow up the whole building.
Oh no!
But
we are
Nuke it for more
Slothrop.
But
Love it.
if we do that, right, we are then also preventing ourselves from returning home.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
But if this
We're sticking
technology
ourselves here.
only creates these demon creatures that eject from these portals, I don't know
Well,
if it's going
but
to get
I
us home
mean,
anyway.
well, no, but between Trae and Reggie, we both have slip dynamics knowledge, right? That they don't like. We have knowledge of it working. They
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
So there is a possibility that we could actually use this technology in a safe way and make the alterations that we need to.
Yeah, like get our
Especially
hands on
since Trae looks at it from a brain's perspective, from the logical way of how it actually works.
Mhm.
And Reggie has the psyche aspect where he kind of more feels his way through it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Nash
But-
is the muscle. But just as it was before, the like just when you figured out, you knew what Cordoba was doing with his dream worlds and you eventually figured out what was going on with tanks, but the chaotic element, the variable, is Frank.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just kill that guy.
There we go. I've already killed 3 of them. I'll kill 1 more. It's fine.
Yeah. Like how many of them are here?
Take out Frank. You're just gonna name this like when the movie comes out, it's just called Kill Frank.
Well, here's something. I mean, again, Ulla is the only one who doesn't consciously recognize the theme repeating here. But the guys clearly get that deja vu feeling because in their original reality, Cordoba got his hold on Frank and tried to do something experimental, ended up fucking up, and that led to the end of reality, the end of the world. Now here we are in another reality. Once again, looks like Cordoba is doing something with Frank and might end the world.
It's like it's in the early stages.
I don't know. This place is pretty fucked up, though.
Right?
Yeah, but like it's not like but there may not be as many layers as they had yet. Like I don't.
This world, I think, is fucked up though for completely unrelated to Frank and Wolfram and whatever. I think it's that shit was just like, well, that's what happened in this timeline, but that's different from the reality fractures.
All right.
Yeah, true.
Unless
There was war that devastated 90% of,
That's just it was a setback to them.
Well, all right. So what if Prime Frank, right, reached? He's been reaching out to a bunch of the other Franks, right? That's how he collected 10 of others of himself.
No. They were collected by Cordoba using his technology to send Frank into his own dream world, and every time he tried to do that, another echo of Frank came back until there was 11.
Oh, that's true. All right. Well, okay.
So Frank, the fact that there were 11 Franks is actually Cordoba fucking up.
That's a good point. All right. Well, so then I don't know how it happened, but what if this Frank kind of got a sense of that? Right? Maybe some kind of connection was created or something like that. What if he's actually helping Cordoba with this in an attempt to Jet Li the One, destroy everything else?
I think
or just destroy reality in general.
You're postulating the existence of a Singulara Frank.
I am, yes. A Frankularity.
Well, but I wonder, wouldn't everyone have that, right?
That was my thought all along. Was
from Prime, if we have a multiverse and we all exist in those multiverses, then there's also a Nashularity, right? Because there would be Nashes in all the world, right? It depends on which, from the perspective of which one does it go this way or that way, right? But from zero, if there's infinite universes and we're contained in all of those universes, then it's kind of
there is a big bang, a point of creation where there is the prime timeline that all the other timelines branched off of.
Although we can't prove that your home Earth was actually it.
Oh no, we thought it was. It was R00.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of
this is somebody else's 00. It's
Like for me, it's just like the end game. If the end game is trying to get back to a place that never existed, then where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Or even a place that can't exist. So I mean, it's. I don't know. To me, it might literally be we got to get our hands on the technology.
If my game doesn't push you through surrealism all the way into hardcore existentialism and doubting what the hell reality is, then I have failed to do my job.
Oh no, we've hit that point and we just kind of kept going.
We've gone plaid.
Yeah. That's what this is. We're just in plaid now.
I feel like strangely enough that Ulla is the most grounded.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're the only one who's lived in one reality her whole life.
Yeah. She's she doesn't disbelieve it, and she's certainly experienced a lot with all of these reality fractures, right? So she's
these strange people with their strange words.
Well, all of this stuff that happened, but I think she just has a very strong sense of. It's just her I think it's just her personality. She just has a very strong sense of reality, and I don't know another way to put it other than that.
Well, it makes sense because
she's a survivor and very physically oriented.
Yeah, even with all these reality fractures, Ulla is still grounded in this reality, right? Yeah. Whereas, the rest of us. And so that's how you can think, right? Ulla thinks in terms of this reality and we work from this point.
Yeah.
Whereas the three of us have experienced multiple realities. And so we're running off of multiple equations at the same time without a point of origin.
Right. And what the ultimate lesson of DayTrippers is that the real reality is the friends you made along the way.
I mean, it's not going to matter where we end up in my mind. It's all
the important thing is going to be that we're there together,
Mhm.
and nothing has solidified that more than seeing the Trae showing all this stuff about Nash and I'm dead and all that stuff. Like, it's not going to matter anymore. Like where it is, it's just that it's us that's there. So let's get our hands on that technology and either, I don't know, shut it down or fix it in a way and remove.
The problem is that we need to fix it. We need to fix it in a way that we use it, and then it just gets destroyed afterwards.
I mean, right, and I feel like we're probably equipped to figure out how to do that. You know what I mean?
Well, you got like if you make a portal open up, and we don't even know where it's going to open up to, but if you can make one open up, then in theory you've got like 5-10 seconds. You could jump through it and then turn around and blow the fuck out of the machine or whatever, right?
I think you just set timer explosives.
Big old charge.
Like, whatever. Yeah. I'm sure we can find a way.
That's...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a, coming next season kind of scene.
With like a slow turn.
That episode, yeah.
Where you like raise up the detonator and like click it, and then right before the portal closes, you see the fire. Yeah.
It closes just as like there's a little spurt of flame that comes through.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. I waited just a little too long.
Yeah. It all zeroes down to a small pink blob.
Yeah.
I just rewatched The Avengers recently with my son, and the ending where Iron Man is taking the nuke through the portal.
Oh yeah.
And is like falling, falling, and the portal's closing.
Yeah, right. That's right.
But it's not an explosion, it's a ping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, if we hear those, I don't want to hear those pings.
Ordinarily, when reality starts to fall apart, the first thing Nash says is, "Get to the ship."
Yeah.
Ain't no ship.
There's no ship.
There's no nothing. It's just us.
Right.
Which is why that like Ulla's convinced that Reggie can do more than he thinks.
Yeah, no, that was a good, interesting turn for all that. It was good. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I got to figure out what I'm going to yell in his face.
I know that was serious emotional PvP right there.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going to yell
Sorry,
at him.
not sorry.
No, it was good. It just because it was so good because I had that wasn't a thought I had. I wasn't even prepared.
Yeah.
I'd rather not be, but it was good. It wasn't even a thought I had.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And it felt right and it felt real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give Nash a hug. We're gonna have a bro hug to end all bro hugs. The last one ever.
The bro hug.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
The bro hug that returned reality back to its original state.
Yeah.
Bro hug at the end of time.
I feel like, I don't know, Ulla she's just been listening to all of you guys through this whole thing and just paying attention, right? She listens and she pays attention. It's what she does. And apparently destroy things. But
which has been very helpful. It's been beyond helpful.
But yeah, she just, I don't know, absorbing all of that, and it just finally kind of, came out.
Right.
Well, I do feel like there may be a little bit of codependency maybe on Nash's part with Reggie. I don't know that necessarily goes the other way, but
I think it probably, I mean,
I'm sure that there is.
definitely
Of course,
does.
the relationship between Nash and Reggie is probably the strongest one here. But there's a cool thing going on between Nash and Ulla, where they're kind of like the mom and dad of the group. And And then the thing between Ulla and Trae.
Yes. Yeah. All of that.
Yep.
Needs to-
We're a
Need
big
more of that.
family. We have a mom and a dad and a brother and a sister.
A baby.
Yep.
We're all each other's moms, dads, brothers, and sisters.
Right?
Yeah.
In
we're
a very weird Oedipus way.
Right. My
so much
two
like
dads.
edible confusion.
I'm your mother and your sister and your
I'm your mother, sister,
my
and daughter.
own grandpa.
Oh, so we're in Alabama. This whole thing has been taking place in Alabama. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The original. That's prime reality.
No, it's because like Ulla is the only one that's actually from this world. So in a sense, she's like if this is a TV show, Ulla is the POV character, right? The
Mhm.
character through whose eyes you see this whole world. She's the one that lives
Mhm.
here. She's the only one that lives here. But seasons 1, 2, and 3, and in a meta sense, because the multiverse is real, Jack Nash is the POV character. He always was. He was the normal one, the Reggie and Trae are the weird ones in their own different ways, and Nash was the grounded one. And so now there's the two of you. You're the grounded one right here in this world. Nash is grounded in sort of a historical sense. He's the center of the previous triangle, right? And so you two are like the adults. That's why it feels like Nash is the dad and Ulla is the mom, because when weird things happen, Reggie starts doing something weird. Trae goes into his head and you don't know what he's doing. And Nash and Ulla are the ones who go, all right, what do you think we should do? Well, here's my suggestion. Good idea. The grown-ups in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Although Ulla is also a little crazy. She just hasn't shown it very much.
Oh, now we have to be the adults. Oh, damn it.
Now we insert a flashback to the moment when she kills Exo in the tunnel city and the nanos are coming out of her head and as his body is like falling apart and bits of bloody meat, you notice the close-up shows a slight grin on her face. She's enjoying this.
Oh my god. Trae and I are gonna have to be the adults when we get in front of Cordoba, and Nash and Ulla go just ape shit.
I'm sorry, who killed Cordoba last time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but ape shit isn't your style. You just go boom and it's over.
No,
True,
yeah.
Just one tapping.
Yeah, you're forgetting who has the highest body count here so far.
I mean, I think I killed about a zillion rat people.
That's true.
But that was on a dream world. They weren't real.
That's true. It doesn't count. It didn't count. Oh, they're all dream worlds.
I think in the last 3 weeks, Trace killed 6 people. So,
Well, Jerkus, Cordoba, the bounty hunter,
Yep.
those 3 for sure. Those
the bounty
3
hunter,
guys,
and then the two guys in the tunnel.
wasn't it 3?
I think it was 3.
Was it 3? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, so there we
that's
go. Yep,
6. Yeah,
that's 6.
And we saved a life.
we saved a life.
Yeah. Nash and Reggie saved a life.
And although we still didn't make it to the city this time, and there wasn't like any combat or anything, I think that everyone made some very interesting observations and realizations and finds. So I'm going to give everybody 5 experience points. And Leslie, you'll just have to remember that. It's another reason I'm doing this, because like Leslie doesn't have her real sheet in front of her. So It's easy to remember. I gave everybody 5.
All right, thank you.
Oh, plus 3 francs. So that's 9.
I'm just gonna make a note under my notes. Actually, like the character that I'm starting to feel like she reminds me of. There's a couple of them, but one that's really coming out is like Jean Grey from the X-Men.
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wait till we
Let's
unleash
do
that Dark Phoenix.
Oh
Yeah.
Let's not. Let's not. But I definitely think she has that capacity, which, you know, it's kind of interesting and terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I'm posting a note in the Discord. Everybody got 5 XP.
Oh hey, look at that. That's useful.
Mhm.
Sweet. Yeah, we should probably do that every time. Like,
Right?
so we have like a.
That way you don't have to try to remember it or find the note that you wrote it down on or whatever.
Exactly.
5 XP for everybody. Yay!
Yay.
I'm wondering if I should start at
So, I mean, we're going to start the next episode with a shock roll for Ulla. And as soon as you figure out what the hell's happening and what the hell Frank is doing here and what any of that means, then, you know, I guess we can start thinking about when Trae opens his mouth about that headline with the CEO of Wolfram being Ingwe Cordoba. Because that sort of lines things up in a way that explains, I mean, your enemy is her enemy.
Oh yeah. But I'm probably, honestly, Trae's probably going to hold on to that until we get into the city, because I
Really?
need him focused. I need him focused right now. And Cordoba unfocuses Nash.
I don't know what you mean.
All right.
Like
that's
the
a fair
only
point.
times that Nash loses composure is with Cordoba, really.
Would you have looked up to see if Susie Garp was in this world?
I don't know her. She doesn't
Oh, that's
play...
right. You wouldn't have been part of
Right,
any
yeah,
of
you
that,
wouldn't
right?
have, yeah.
No.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So, I mean, there's no, like, unless...
He
and,
wouldn't
like,
look up Chip either, probably.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
because
There's not
there's
enough time. There's not enough time to look.
No.
We don't need to worry about that.
There's no... I mean, there's nothing official that ties Nash and Chip together. So...
No.
And it's the same with him and Susie. Like, unless... Like, Nash doesn't seem like a big, like, social media person to me.
That was
So-
that was forced upon him.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, like, it probably, like, any pictures that exist of the two of them are probably on, like, her profile, like, on her social media, so it wouldn't register at all.
Well, they
So-
would have been. She probably deleted them all by now.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that Scylla in this reality isn't even famous if she exists.
Yeah.
All right. I have to go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get some rest.
Thanks for
Good
powering through.
Thank
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you for
This is
playing.
Take
Love
plenty
the
of Claritin.
chemistry. Awesome.
See you Friday.
Thanks for the dagger in my heart.
I love
gonna-
you.
I'm gonna leave it there.
All right.
Oh, good times. Bye, guys.
Night.
Take it easy.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Yep.
It was a good tactic. It was better than me blubbering over here, trying to pull through our whole history together about all the
Right.
things that we've done and the,
Yeah,
you know.
pivoted everything pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
She
good
said
thought.
something. She said something similar last time, and I don't think you were ready to hear it yet. You were
No,
like,
no. Probably. I don't even. She may have. I don't remember it. I don't remember it hitting like that.
No,
I
it
mean-
didn't.
I mean,
but at
this
the
is me
time,
I'm
you were.
talking about. Like, to me, it hit. It hit.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
you, but it's that you are Reggie, right? And at
Yeah,
the time,
yeah,
at the time, in the last episode, the emotional theme for you was the thing with Whisper, and
Yep.
you were feeling it. You were really feeling it, and so like her making some suggestion about breaking the jar, you're like, look, talk to me Tuesday, all right? I mean,
Tuesday. Yeah, yeah. No, that was good. Yeah, so it's good. We'll put this behind us, and yeah, that was very good on her part.
Very astute.
Yep. It was getting down to my level. That's what it was. She got down to my level, making eye contact. All the things you do with a child.
Right? Oh yeah, that's one of the first things they tell you. Don't hover over them. Get down eye level with them.
I want to see that scene, and it's a close-up 2-shot, and Reggie is looking through the glass, a slight curve to the dome, the orange sky in the background, and she goes tap tap tap.
Yeah, little tap tap. That's good.
Great scene.
I wanted to make a joke about something about not tapping on the glass. I tell you, not tapping fucks with the fish or whatever. I didn't want to ruin the mood.
Yeah, it was the wrong moment. Yeah.
But it immediately popped in my head, and I was like,
that's good.
"Oh."
It's like the scene of Finding Nemo. It's like,
Yeah.
my dog is going ape shit up there right now. I don't know.
Well, that's what that is.
doing.
I don't know.
I just hear him running back and forth constantly.
It's a game. It's called Run to the
Right?
Other Side of the Room.
Oh, actually,
you play it
you know
over
what?
and over.
I'll be right back because during the cold snap, we had to move the rabbits into the toy room, and I'm gonna make sure one of them
Uh-oh.
didn't get out.
Oh shit.
That could be very bad.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
boy.
like minus 11 by him yesterday, I think,
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
or the day before, with the wind chill.
Yeah, maybe we had 2 days of just, or like maybe a day and a half of just pain.
Oh yeah, you too, right?
But maybe
You guys are
you know what
neighbors?
though, like that's winter. I feel like we're just not used to it because we're not getting those temperatures. You know, we just don't get it. All of a sudden, like 2 days, like remember what it used to be like for like weeks at a time. You know, but you go outside, it was instant. It was just pain.
Yeah, no.
Whoa.
No. Humans should not be there. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, he's just being fucking weird. No, yeah, on Sunday. No, today's Sunday. So yesterday on Saturday, with the wind chill, it got down to negative 22. here.
Oof.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I don't know if you're real.
Yeah.
That's not a real
Yeah, so
temperature.
normally we had the rabbits in the garage, but by the evening on Saturday, actually no, we moved them in there Friday night. It had dropped down into like 39 in the garage.
Oof.
And we normally keep the door open just to get some air circulating in there. But at that point now it's so cold in there that it's forcing cold air into the house.
Oh, right.
And we're like, no, we got to, because like the heat's just going to run constantly and that's going to
Yeah.
fucking suck.
I have to
So-
keep my window cracked because the cats are trained to come in and out the window. So I have to keep my doors shut so the thermostat doesn't know
Pick it up.
that it's
Yep.
if it's 53 degrees in this room.
Right? Yep. Oh, that happens constantly. The thermostat's in the kitchen. So like if I'm cooking, right, it'll get warmer in the kitchen. So it'll say
Right.
like, oh, it's like 70 in there. Meanwhile, like the rest of the house, it's like 60.
Yeah, that
And
happens.
Amanda's
to us
in the
too.
living room under a blanket. And I'm like, hey, I can't fucking help it. Doesn't
Yeah, our oven and stove are right around the corner from the thermostat, and there's no real
Yep.
wall between them. So, yeah, it affects the thermostat way before it heats up the rest of the house.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Ugh.
Oh, I hear him now.
Doing laps.
Having a dog day.
Yeah, one thing I will say, I just want to make sure I don't know if it's gonna play into the next session or not, but I just want everybody to remember that Trae has his left hand on Nash's shoulder. I want to bookmark that and make sure we remember that.
Mhm.
Just gonna make a
Good,
note
good,
of that.
Good.
Are you going to tell me to fucking look at the flowers? Is that what this is?
No.
You know what? I don't know if it's going to end up being tactically useful, but there's a chance that it might. You don't know what's going to happen next. But it was Trae that pulled Jack through the nothing when Homeworth
True,
fell
yeah.
apart.
What shoulder? His
Right shoulder.
So,
Left hand, right shoulder.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So
not like-
here, like he's
not-
fucking
Not
like a
around
child.
him. It's not around his neck. It's
No,
like
no.
just it's like the very it's like
Just
the
resting on his shoulder.
Yes, very much so. Okay. And I've made a note. Tis noted.
I think I would probably notice that too, like even in the moment, because you're not.
Oh yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
Probably.
It wouldn't be something that I would expect for you to do, like a comforting
Yep.
hand, because
That's
that's
true.
what that would be the assumption
Yeah,
in the
comforting
moment.
hand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Comforting
Very
hand.
nice thing.
Which that's like a breakthrough for Trae.
Right. So
Sure.
I think Nash would only note it like for that reason. Like, oh, that's
Yeah, what is this?
weird, right? Like,
What is you doing? What is your ulterior motive?
Yeah. It's like when the person who doesn't like hugs gives you a hug, you're like, oh, they must be broken up.
Yeah, you know something is happening.
I'm about to hear something very bad.
hmm. No, I guess we'll see what happens.
We will.
I guess that's it, gents.
Yep.
I'm gonna go eat some pizza. It's always pizza. Because
Oh,
it's the easiest
that's
thing to cook, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I would
Go
eat
eat some
pizza,
and
every day.
watch the stupidest fucking thing. We've been watching that prank encounter show. It stars the goofy, weird-looking kid from Stranger Things, and he's got a prank show. It's on
Oh,
Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Right.
and it is shit. But we're watching it because, like, you know how
Shit.
like you enjoy bad movies because they're so bad it's fun to
Yep.
watch. It's like
yeah.
it works so hard. It works so fucking hard. They set up the most elaborate pranks. It takes a whole hour to explain the fucking prank. And then at the,
God.
and then at the end they scare people, you know, oh, is that zombie alive? Was that really an alien? And for a few seconds they think, oh shit, the aliens are real or zombies are real. And then the weird kid with the weird face pops out and goes, "You're on my prank show." And
They're like, ah.
and they're like, "You fucker." You know, and that's it. It's just kind of like they work so hard to set it up, and the ending is always anticlimactic because
Yeah.
a second ago they were screaming and it was hysterical, but you have to let them down.
Yeah, it's a big letdown. Ashton Kutcher did this 20 years ago. This is stupid.
Yeah,
And in the 80s, they had candid camera.
yeah, but see,
Yeah,
this
it's
kid, he's
right.
like he's typecast. He's never, and he's ugly, right? So he's never going to get a job in Hollywood again unless he does something quote unquote strange. You have to brand him, right? He's the strange kid from Stranger Things. He's strange. He's the expert on strange now.
Yeah.
We're gonna do straight, not just pranks. We're gonna do strange pranks, right? Aliens.
Be a spin-off called Weirder Stuff.
Yeah,
And it's gonna suck.
yeah. So we're working our way through those, and it's shit. But I enjoy watching crap television when I'm eating because you can turn it off when
Oh,
you're done eating, and you just
Yeah, you
don't
have
care.
to pay attention. Yeah.
All right, I'm out, guys.
All right.
All
Take it easy.
right. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Todd.
you, Todd.
Thank you,
We'll
Todd.
All right. I guess we'll jump out of here. I think we kicked this one to death probably. That's probably a poor metaphor choice, but anyway, we're done. So, like, see ya.
Bye.